Hello again. So now we're going to find Corpus Juris Secundum online, and we're looking at Westlaw Next because it owns this national encyclopedia. So there's a couple ways to find it. We could just simply type it in up here in the search bar, and it would auto-populate, see it? Corpus. Okay, and we could just click on that. Or if you didn't know the name of it, you couldn't remember it, you could just click on like secondary sources, texts and treatises, and then there you have it right there, Corpus Juris Secundum. So I'll click on that. So now once you have a resource, you want to think of the different ways to get into it. And the topic method or the word method. You use the topic method when you really don't know exactly the vocabulary you're using. So you would use the index to look for a specific word or something if you knew the words. But if you don't know the words, then you would use the topic method, and that would mean to scan the table of contents. And what you're looking at here, this list, is basically the online equivalent of the table of contents. So let's hit the topic method first by looking at the table of contents, and then we'll do the index method or the word method after that. So table of contents. If we go for parity on this thing, you see it's not here. So then we go broader, fair use. It's not here either. So then we go to the broadest, which is copyright law. And there we have something, copyrights and intellectual property. So I'll click on that. And then we get what looks like a traditional table of contents. And if we scroll down here to section 5, infringement, I'm going to click on in general. Remember in video 4.3 you learned that when you don't know much about an area, you want to generally click on the in general section. That will give you kind of some context. So then I scan down here and look what we have, section 100 parodies. Remember in video 4.7a, the one you just viewed, we found this section 100 parodies in Corpus Juris Secundum in print. So here's the same thing online. So you would research it here just like you did in the book. Now in real life, again, because we found that Nimmer treatise, we would not also then go find an encyclopedia. I'm just showing you this just in case you're ever met with a situation where there is not an awesome treatise. In that case, you would then go find an encyclopedia. Okay? All right. I also promised you the word method. So let's restart here, and let's go to Corpus, again, Corpus Juris Secundum. And I could click on the index here, but I want to show you kind of from the start screen here how you can find the index. You'll find options for all of the resources, usually on the right side. So here we have what looks like an index, and we can click on, it says table of contents, and then see how it refers to the index here. So let's go right for the jugular here. Let's go all the way down to parity. And you can see how this list is more like an index compared to that one we were just looking at. The thing we were just looking at is closer to a table of contents. And then we have parodies. I'll click on that. And then we have copyright, fair use, bam, go right to it. Now, when you use the index or the word method like this, you don't get the table of contents exploded view. So what I like to do is to go to my section and then get a little context. And so I'll click on table of contents. So first of all, this is where we just were a few minutes ago, but we got there through the table of contents. This time we got there through the index. If I click on table of contents here, I can kind of get my feel for where we're at. And if I need some new vocabulary, like, okay, this is an infringement action or whatever, I can get that from the table of contents here. So it just kind of gives me my bearings, helps me understand where parody fits in the big picture of copyright law. Okay. All right, that ought to do it. See you back in the workbook.